Well, good afternoon. My name is Wendy Gruhl, and I am the MC today for our bull ring competition. This is celebrating our 10th year. And this is, as you've seen, is the Jeff Marine Bull Ring competition. And Jeff and his family have graciously contributed over the years to make sure that this event was one that we could celebrate our winners and enjoy and see all this, and it just continues to grow. So I appreciate you being here. So it attracts our undergraduate and graduate students from across campus and from various disciplines. The student teams we're going to be hearing from today, and I got to meet a few of them, who are very excited and maybe a little nervous, but have emerged from two incredibly competitive rounds of competition. From an initial field of 53 applications, they advanced to the semifinal rounds of 20 teams. And now in this final round, they'll be competing for all the glory of and of course, the $25,000 in prizes, which is really great. Let's give a great round of applause for all of our individuals who are participating. They have been putting in a lot of work into these new venture ideas, and the competition has been incredibly competitive thus far. So regardless of the outcome, it is a learning experience. There's oftentimes people who may hear your presentation and decide they want to invest in you. So it really is a huge competition to be celebrated. And as you can see on the back wall, if you turn around up above, the bull ring winners since 2016, that we're missing that 1 year of COVID there in the 2020, but we have had some wonderful winners, and you'll hear about one of our judges today who was a previous winner. So I'd like to acknowledge some of our wonderful campus volunteers that are here today. We have Nicole Ipak, who's our Vice President of University Relations and Advancement. Nicole, thank you, glad you are here. We have Joy Bourne, who is our Vice Provost. Welcome, she's in the back there. We have a wonderful Nazarian advisory board that works every month, figuring out ways in which they can support our students, support our entrepreneurial programs, and volunteer their time. You will hear from one of them in a moment, but I want to introduce Mark Wolf, who is here, and Richard Schweitzer, who is here. Richard, raise your hand. Oh, he's in the back, okay. And then our wonderful advisory board members. If I missed anyone, I apologize, and if they come in late, we'll make sure to acknowledge them. And of course, our really extraordinary Dean, Dr. Chandra Samararian, who is the Dean of the Nazarian College and has been incredibly supportive. Dean Chandra. He sends emails like late at night, early in the morning. I don't think he sleeps, but he's doing it all for you, just so you know. Also, John Giorgio, who is our keynote speaker, but also a member of our advisory board, and he is going to be able to speak during the time that they are doing the deliberations. And I always like to embarrass him a bit because we went to high school together, so if you want any stories, but John Giorgio, where are you? John, over there. And I always have to say he's a year older than me. Older. So as I understand, many of the mentors for the competition, as well as partners and sponsors, are in the audience today. These are individuals who have been volunteering their time to support the next generation of entrepreneurs at CSUN over the course of the semester, and many of which have been involved with the program since its inception 10 years ago. This is an important aspect of the competition, so students are connected directly with people and dedicated, proven mentors and advisors to help them further their entrepreneurial ideas. So do we have any of those mentors here today that you're willing to raise your hand? We can give you a round of applause. There you go, don't be shy. We have one right, okay, thank you. Let's give them a great round of applause. A couple up here. You know when they start clapping and yelling that's their team, so in that. So, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, none of this would be possible without the support of Jeff Marine and his family, whose generosity has really helped create this competition nearly a decade ago. He envisioned that it would be something like this as it grows. Jeff has served as the founding member of the Entrepreneurship Advisory Board at CSUN and continues to support through the entrepreneurship we call ecosystem at Cal State Northridge today. Unfortunately, he's not here with us today, but we're gonna, because he's traveling, we're sending pictures and let him know who the winner is. So at this point in time, I am thrilled to introduce an incredibly talented and diverse group of judges who later today will be given that very difficult task of deciding which teams will be taking home the top 3 prizes. In addition to the $10,000 grand prize, $5,000 for second place, and $2,500 for third, the top 3 teams will each receive access to $2,500 of free legal services, complimentary and courtesy of a competition sponsor, Novus GC, and $2,500 of free marketing services, courtesy of compensation sponsor, Intersect LA. And that's really a great, for those of you that are business that are going to go today, having legal advice and marketing advice makes your product and your project be able to come to reality. So on top of that, there are 3 additional $2,500 awards: the Social Impact Award, Best Use of Technology, and of course, everyone's favorite, the Audience Choice Award. So you need to stay here and make sure you have your own vote. So you will have a chance to cast your vote and to help determine who comes away with that prize. I will give you a little bit more information later on the Audience Choice as to how that works during our break and our keynote speaker. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce our distinguished panel of judges to join me. If I'd ask them to join me on stage, and then I will introduce you when you sit down. So please come on up. I think you have your nameplates on, my wonderful judges. Let's give them a great round of applause. We're going to go ladies first. Daniela Corrente. She is the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer for Sumo Wealth. She was named one of Inc. magazine's top female founders. Daniela is a dynamic leader who seamlessly bridges strategy and execution to propel Sumo Wealth's growth. Really a trailblazer in fintech, she is redefining financial success, creating innovative pathways for wealth building, and driving meaningful change. She's making history as part of the first Latina C-suite team. Daniela continues to lead with bold, forward-thinking strategies that aim to inspire the next generation to build generation wealth. Let's welcome Daniela as well. Corrente. I'm going to make sure I do this right, the name, because I asked him, Ugana, and I didn't ask you how to pronounce the last one, so I'm going to try this because I did it phonetically. Ikapeo-wo. I'm sure you'll be able to tell it properly when you speak. So he is the Chief Impact Officer of Kwanzaa Jones and the Jose Feliciano Initiative. At KASI, he is focused on creating a lasting impact in 4 key areas: education, entrepreneurship, equity, and empowerment. Prior to him joining that, he spent 21 years at JP Morgan, where he held various roles across the firm, including spending 10 years in South Africa, growing the firm's investor services business throughout the sub-Saharan Africa. He holds a bachelor's arts degree in molecular biology. Okay, you have to explain how that all works with JP Morgan going there, from Princeton University, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Next is Jason Prats. He is the CEO of Kumo and Build Your Org. While still a student at CSUN, Jason co-founded Appetize, where he led a product team of 40 plus and partnered with an engineering team of 200 plus to develop a best-in-class product in the mobile ordering space, which seems to be, we are frequent users of mobile ordering, just so you know, in my family. I'm very expert at that, and I'm sure the students are as well. After navigating a successful exit in 2021, Jason went on to create Build Your Org, which provides professional services and software to SMB owners. He also recently acquired Kumo, which leverages technology to redefine how small businesses acquisitions happen. Let's give a great round of applause for Jason. Our next speaker is he's not a stranger here to CSUN and to this project, because Stephen Van Allen is the CEO of Sleepyhead. After winning, and you can see his sign up there, winning the grand prize in the 2016 Bull Ring, Stephen has experienced explosive growth with his company Sleepyhead, which has blossomed into the industry leader in college and dorm room mattress toppers. Hopefully you all have them if you live here, providing tens of thousands of students with exceptional quality, comfort, and superior craftsmanship. With notable investors, innovative marketing, and efficient operations, Sleepyhead has surpassed 8 figures in sales and consistent with YOY growth. What a talented group of individuals we have here today for this exciting event. They're going to ask you good, tough questions to find out who's going to be our winner today. So I'm going to first, let's give them all a great round of applause as a group. So just a little rules of the game. This is how this is going to work. Each of our 5 teams will have 7 minutes to present their new venture, which will be followed by a 5-minute Q&A period from our judges. After all 5 teams have presented, we'll welcome a very special keynote speaker, as I mentioned, John Giorgio, while our judges enter their in their deliberation chambers. We'll then return to announce the first, second, and third place winners who will be claiming their portion of our $25,000 prize purse. So now we're going to welcome our first team to the stage. So our first team, we're going to ask you to put your hands together for auto edit with team members Devin Hayun, who is a cinema and television arts major, alongside his team members Jason Tran and Mateo Jimenez. Okay.
Hi everybody, my name is Devin Nguyen, and this is my product Auto Edit by my company 11%. So really quickly, what are we? We are an automatic AI video editing software service. It targets music video editors and production contract editors, and we basically automatically edit videos. It's a plug-in software for Premiere Pro. Really quickly, I just want to start off with our traction. Right now, we started with an experiment of 43 days. We were able to lock in a little over $1,000 in pre-order value, because why pitch a business if you can't even get your first customer? We already have our 22nd customer. And right now, before I dive into everything, who am I though? My name is Devin Nguyen. I've been a video editor for pretty much as long as I can remember. I love making videos. I have a YouTube channel called 11% where I teach other video editors how to edit videos. In the past, I've worked for clients such as Coachella, Mercedes, toured with Lil Baby, and recently we just locked in our Adobe partnership. My technical partner is Nate Lavelle and NT Productions. He's a very well-talented video editor and programmer. He is well known for producing many and developing many well-known extensions and plugins for Premiere Pro and Adobe-related products. As video editors and YouTubers, he's also a YouTuber as well. And as video editors and YouTubers, you probably imagine we edit a lot of videos. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous. And one of the things that really stood out to me and just like really annoying is how much time I waste and spend on the foundation timeline process. So I'm gonna break this down for those of you who aren't video editors. When editing a video project, you first start off what's called the foundation timeline process. This is basically a sequence of events and like processes that you have to do to get, let's say for example, you shot a music video. You have 4 hours of raw, like edited footage that you have to condense to a 2-minute video. That takes a lot of time and effort, requires all 5 of these steps right here, and all this happens before any creative work starts, which is pretty annoying because I've worked on projects, I'm super passionate to start on it, and then I'm just bogged down with all this like mundane, tedious tasks. Editors are aware of this and are already spending thousands of dollars on time-saving solutions that don't really save time. Templates, presets, how do I know this? Because I see my comments in my YouTube channel. If you have haters on YouTube, you know you got haters on YouTube. It's pretty obvious. These templates and these half solutions are really band-aid fixes. They're not even solving half of the problem. Like not even 25%, to be honest. So what if instead a video editing software could automatically edit the foundation timeline of your project so that you can just start focusing on the creative work? Well, you may have guessed it, that is us, that's Auto Edit. We're building the autopilot for video editing. So essentially what Tesla Autopilot did for self-driving, we're gonna be doing for video editing. These projects take around, the foundation timeline process takes around 3 to 4 hours per project. For contract video editing teams, that's gonna be around they have like hundreds of projects per month. It's very common. 300 to 400 hours of time that is just shaved off by using our software. And essentially that time they can spend, contracting more clients, getting more business, or just spending that time with their kids and family. Around 82% of the internet traffic is expected to be video by the end of 2025, which is very impressive for the market. I'll get into the market cap in just a bit, but first off, where are customers actually coming from? Currently, we have a little over 30,000 YouTube subscribers who already buy and are very well trusting of our products. And most recently, coincidentally, so Eliza Tan, who's the senior product manager of Adobe, she just recently reached out to us about a partnership because we make tutorials and products on After Effects and Premiere Pro. So I told her about my idea. I was like, hey, I'm sure, Adobe's a multi-billion-dollar company. When is this coming out? I'd love to see if you guys have this AI feature, because you could probably do this with a couple scripts and models. I'm sure you're building this, you're a giant company. And you know what she said? No, we have no plans at all for building anything like this, because Adobe focuses on a broader market, and this is a very niche specialist tool. However, that still has a very, very large market. Damn, if only somebody knew how to edit videos, how to reach, and resources to do this. Wait, I do. So why am I doing this now? This was literally impossible 5 years ago. Essentially, this relies on what's called shot classification models. I can get very, very technical, but essentially AI has gotten a lot better since 2023. So now the big question, how does the money get made here? This is a very brief breakdown based off real analytics from our Shopify store currently. We're on track to hitting 92,000 sessions per year times our 1.5% conversion rate times our $149 per year subscription, puts us around a $200K for year one. This is what it looks like in a 5-year, year-over-year growth plan at 1.7 million by year 5. And like I said, I'm getting my market cap in just a bit. But in order to do this, we need around $76,000 to $98,000 to build our MVP first phase 1 product. This includes a couple features for AI model training, UXP developers, UX designers, and marketing and growth, of course. By the way, our go-to-market strategy is through our YouTube channel and also affiliate marketing and paid ads, of course, but organic content is king. I'm always pro that. For July, we're planning to launch our MVP launch, which is going to basically consist of 3 of the main features that we're planning to release. So this is a very base model. That's what we need the $98,000 for. And then from there, we'll go for our next round of funding. So essentially, who are competitors? These are a couple of other YouTubers, and why are they not doing this? I've talked to them, I know them very well personally. They have no plans or intentions. They're too caught up. They make presets and templates. Like I said, those Band-Aid solutions before, that's what they sell. They're very, very prominent on that, and they pretty much can't look past the future. The reason why I don't care about beating them is because I care about eliminating them. They basically create no value, and if I were to release, none of them integrate AI into their products, and they're selling these Band-Aid solutions that only solve half of the problem. If I were to release auto edit, it would be a 10x upgrade over anything of the market. Our competitors operate in these first 2 columns of presets and templates, whereas auto edit, we serve and deliver 10 times over in every single area right here. The current market is estimated to be around $5.13 billion, which we have a 2% share on, and which gives us around $100 million market cap. There's a huge market opportunity for this. The projections I listed earlier were just very conservative because I like to keep things real. The next 2 years will be incredibly critical for AI media tech development. We're operating in a very small time window. There's only a limited window that we can execute on this. I'm not here to compete with others. I'm here to eliminate the competition, and I'm here to outpace, outperform, and outlast every single competitor or anybody who stands in my way. Essentially, with the right resources, capital, and team, I believe we can do this and achieve this as a team. My name is Devin Nguyen. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Who would you say is your ICP today? Your ideal?
Our ideal customer profile is going to be targeting contract video editors. These are video editors who are under agencies. These are video editors who do business for other clients. Essentially, kind of like I kind of targeted as me 5 years ago. I worked for a lot of artists, did a lot of touring, did a lot of contract work. I'm making money, so I want to make sure that my tools are essentially top notch and will speed me up to essentially get more business and make more money. People who are making a little over 6 figures per year, preferably. And there's also video agent contracting agencies who provide their video editing sources and tools to their editors as well. Those would be like enterprise level accounts, you can imagine.
Follow up on that ICP. Today, it's kind of B2B in that way, right? It's like B to micro B.
Yes,
individual person.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And,
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, is there any thought or opportunity to expand more like B2B, like actually sell to the agencies?
Correct. So AI and Hollywood is throwing around the AI buzzword. Actually, everyone's throwing around the AI buzzword today, but Hollywood in particular has enterprise level accounts. They're large visual effects production houses that they have these multi-million dollar budgets for their films, and they need top-notch editing software. We have plans to, currently we're starting with music video editors and the contract editors. However, we have plans to expand into these Hollywood enterprise level accounts and also expanding the software from not just Premiere Pro and Adobe, but to softwares like Final Cut Pro, Sony Vegas, Blackmagic Design, and more. Yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's great.
Congrats. Great pitch. Definitely a lot of energy, which is exciting. I guess my question is the opposite. Like, why don't you go B2C with like a lot of TikTokers spending an hour and a half editing a video and be able to like feed that sort of algorithm and kind of get more customers at scale?
Yeah, so the main reason is they don't have money. Mainly because the B to micro B style model that we're going after, contract video editors who are already making money, they have that income source, whereas those would be for more targeted base, such as CapCut and these like video editing apps that kind of already fill that niche. This is an Adobe integrated extension. Adobe is usually considered to be for more higher end people who take video editing more serious. So with that, Adobe is a paid subscription. Many video editors pay for additional plugins and subscriptions to enhance their editing process.
So follow-up question to that, like it's $150 a year, which doesn't seem super crazy. Like what does CapCut cost? About like $10 a month or something?
CapCut, there's a free version and then there's a paid version. I don't use CapCut. It's a app for like usually very beginner. I believe, it's around that $10, $15 a month. But the main reason, CapCut doesn't do everything that Premiere Pro does. CapCut, that's just for like a very base level entry. And this is going to be targeting like more enterprise level accounts who are doing larger projects for either like, festivals, events, brands, commercial projects even. It's more for like a serious type editor who's making money and has the money to spend on products.
Cool. So last question, how much does it cost to make this? Because $150 for like an enterprise software doesn't seem super expensive. And I know AI like is expensive, like ChatGPT just announced like stop saying thank you because it's costing us billions of dollars.
Correct. So yes, AI shot classification video models is very expensive. However, that's why we're approaching this with the MVP style approach to build this out in phases. We promised a lot of features in our landing page. You can go to our landing page. We have a whole list. I could go through all of them, but it is very expensive. It's definitely going to be upwards into the six-figure range, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we're first starting with a very small, kind of like minimizing the risk, essentially to get that feedback. So that $76,000 to $98,000 in pre-seed funding that we're asking for essentially is funding that first MVP stage to get us to 3 of those main features, which includes the synchronization, the beat detection, the auto edit sequence, and those features are going to be a smaller portion of not all the video shot classification, not all the features we're promising. Very, very MVP. Like I said, it's an MVP to get that feedback, because what if we pre-sold it, but what if we really can't get as much later, and how can we pivot after that if we already built this crazy thing putting hundreds of thousands of dollars? So it's really more of adjusting and advancing in phases, if that makes sense.
Cool, thank you.
Definitely great energy,
Thank
great
you.
ownership of the space. 2 questions. One, talk to me a little bit more about the go-to-market strategy. You went through it super fast.
Yes, correct. You do magazines, correct?
Huh?
You do magazine and fintech?
Fintech.
Yes, correct. So similar to fintech, it's just we're taking the similar organic content approach. We have our YouTube channel. we have our audience who already buys our products. We sell those templates and presets, which are like the Band-Aid solutions, essentially. They already trust us. They already know our products. And in addition to that, the Adobe partnership, the reason why that's incredibly important is because it basically allows us to put our product on the Adobe Creative Cloud platform. So you can download Adobe Auto Edit directly through Adobe. Adobe has currently 30 million Premiere Pro users. That's basically just being free promo through their Creative Cloud extension. Like, we can't reach all those audience members on our own, even with our own like marketing. I'm sure we could, it costs a lot. However, that combined with our current 30,000 subscribers who are all video editors, all know my stuff. We have 10,000 downloads, trust our product. That's our main outlet of reach. And then of course, additionally paired with affiliate marketing, we have a lot of I know a lot of other YouTubers in this space who've just been doing it for a while, who would be more than happy to take on a commission for promoting our products, and then of course sponsorships and paid ads, which we hire out to other agencies to handle our advertising. Essentially, does that answer your question?
Yeah, you talk a lot about we. Who is we? And
we?
Talk about the team.
Yes, so my team consists of currently around like 4 or 5 people who we're kind of all in very different disciplines. Nate is my technical partner, technical co-founder. He does a lot of the plugin development. He's very, very talented in coding and AI. Like, he can answer all your technical questions. Additionally, I have Jason Tran, who's in the audience right here. He is he's like very, very talented in terms of cybersecurity and AI shot classification and just models. He can answer also all of your questions there. And then additionally, compared to that, added on to that, I have another friend, David, who is very talented in terms of video editing. He's developed a couple of my plugins before. And then there's me. And I am like the contractor, the overall product manager. I manage the product. I make sure that everything just meets the timeline. And I also have the reach. I know how to edit videos myself and I have the audience, and I can go to them and they trust me, they trust my word, essentially, if that answers your question on our team. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys' time.
I just had a piece of feedback. You want a question?
When you were describing your title, I think it was Energizer Bunny in my eyes, just so you know. A lot of energy that everyone, and so let's give a great round of applause for Auto Edit. AI is the future editing. I come from a little bit of entertainment in my background, and the way you've described it, it looks like it's going to be supportive, and editors are important in everything that we do. I vacillated between that and feeling very old and not understanding part of that. So, but thank you for all of that. Hope I'm not the only one in the room on that. Clearly, our judges knew a lot. So our next presenter, our next team, is Sharks ChronoFlow, with team members all majoring in computer science at CSUN. Ashat Garebian, I apologize if I mispronounce your names, Karen Shervanian, Robert Peronian, and Timothy Tracy. Come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Tracy, co-founder engineer at ChronoFlow. Today, I'm honored to present alongside my incredible co-founders, Ashat, Robert, and Karen. We've all had those hard days at work. The file you need is missing, your email gets misread, and that quick team meeting goes hours too long. These mistakes aren't just frustrating, they're expensive. US companies lose $1.8 trillion every year due to workplace failures, inefficiencies, miscommunication, and mismanagement. When things go wrong at work, we've all heard the common employee excuses. Oh, you wanted me to do that? Or the classic, hey man, I didn't get the memo. Managers have some similar excuses too. I communicated to you guys once, you should have remembered. I thought we were on the same page here, what happened? Miscommunication, lack of visibility, poor delegation, and inconsistent processes are the root causes of these issues. Colorful spreadsheets and basic task tracker apps only treat the symptoms, not the root causes. They'll list tasks, but they won't align your team. They store information, but don't surface it when it matters. And let's be honest, most employees hate using them because they're more work to maintain than they're worth. But here's the kicker. Most of the work we do every day is actually routine, with repeatable tasks. Think order fulfillment, invoice processing, or document approval. Failures anywhere add up, but in routine work, they're completely unnecessary, expensive, and preventable. Introducing ChronoFlow. ChronoFlow is a next-generation task management platform that uses AI-driven workflow automation to turn your routines into automated, self-driving processes. ChronoFlow's mission is to streamline routine work, supercharge productivity, eliminate needless mistakes, and save companies millions. Let's go over some features and examples. Workflow Studio is the design center for workflows. It's a visual drag-and-drop canvas where you build, tweak, and optimize your workflows with AI assistance. Need a jumpstart? Just describe your workflow and our AI creates it in the studio. Here's an example use case. When enrolling in classes here at CSUN, the system won't let you enroll in a class that overlaps with another class by even 1 minute. You'd need to submit a time conflict petition form. Currently, you take that form and throw it into a supermassive black hole, aka a professor's email inbox. Time estimate, who knows, days, maybe weeks. ChronoFlow, however, automates this process. When the form is submitted online, the 2 professors are automatically notified that they have an incoming form that needs their approval. When a professor signs, the task is automatically handed off and the next action triggers, in this case going to the department chairs. Students could also view the status of their form, and the staff and professors are accountable to be punctual. But what if things don't go according to plan? Workflows shouldn't break when plans change. They should evolve. With dynamic workflows, you design alternate task routes that change and that represent different outcomes. Whether it's approvals, rejections, exceptions, or edge cases, your dynamic workflow ensures no scenario goes unmanaged. With ChronoFlow, task handoff and team coordination is seamless and automated. When someone completes their work, team members responsible for next tasks are automatically notified with all necessary context and resources. We understand employees hate spreadsheets and task apps because they add extra busy work and is basically unpaid overtime to manage them. But ChronoFlow is faster and easier than sending any email or Slack message. Just approve, submit, check a box. The rest is automated. No busy work, no hassle. With ChronoFlow, you can integrate AI assistants to handle tedious tasks like document reviews, appointment scheduling, and email drafting. Everyone here knows the power of modern AI and how it can help you with tedious tasks. Now you can put AI to work for you directly in your workflow. For managers, ChronoFlow gives you a bird's eye view of every workflow. You see who's responsible for what, when, and why at any moment. Plus, it maintains a full decision history, creating a permanent paper trail for past work, even if you have thousands of records and you need something from 10 years ago. Managers can ask our chatbot real-time questions about their projects, team status, or deadlines. Need action? Just ask. It can escalate urgent tasks or reassign work as easy as it is to talk to another person. ChronoFlow analyzes your workflows over time and is always looking for opportunities to optimize. If you have changing project needs, you can ask ChronoFlow for tailored suggestions, like, hey, this time I need extra speed, or extra oversight, or extra redundancy, and it'll instantly suggest ways to accomplish that. ChronoFlow's workload intelligence is a powerful tool for delegating work to your team. No longer will one guy, Kevin, get stuck with everyone's work. It monitors your team's expertise, capacity, and performance in real time to proactively avoid bottlenecks and burnout. For example, knowing historically that Kevin has a lot of work on Mondays, this specific case won't get assigned to Kevin that day. In today's age of remote work, it can be really difficult to spot underperformance. ChronoFlow delivers powerful analytics and business intelligence on your process efficiency in your team, helping managers spot top performers and identify underperformers early. Unlike tools like Monday.com, ClickUp, or Asana, which rely on manual task creation, handoffs, and status updates, ChronoFlow is a complete paradigm shift. Other platforms focus on visualizing work with 20 different layouts and graphs, but we're focused on actually streamlining it. Our automation-first approach drives real productivity gains that spreadsheets or task boards can't match. The workflow automation market represents a massive and growing opportunity. Valued around $20 billion, it's projected to reach $32 billion by 2030. Chronoflow's minimum viable product launches in a few weeks, backed by strong interest from multiple businesses ready to test its capabilities. Through Dr. Jeffrey Weigely, the CSUN faculty president, as well as a personal Chronoflow product mentor, we're poised to deploy Chronoflow here in CSUN administrative faculty. However, high AI server costs threaten our ability to test at scale. Winning this award would directly contribute to those critical infrastructure needs, letting us validate Chronoflow with real users at scale and fast-track our market debut. Chronoflow presents a unique opportunity to invest in the future of work itself. The future of task management isn't just automated, it's intelligent. Invest in Chronoflow, and let's turn momentum into market-ready innovation. Thank you.
Talk to me a bit about how you convince users of Asana and Monday.com to convert to Chronoflow.
So, what's different about us is we're more of a niche product designed to specifically streamline repeat and routine processes. There are other task management apps that focus more on one-off projects and organizing unique things where every day you don't really know what you're doing at work. We're designed specifically for companies that have a daily routine in a lot of ways, and places where employees may have part of their day on strategic creative work and a lot of their day just on boilerplate routine processes. And the way we convince those people is, hey, what you're doing now, you have to spend 10 minutes already just updating someone else that you've done something. First, you need to automatically change the status. You need to create a new task for the next guy. You need to email him. You need to notify him. You need to do something. Well, with Chronoflow, managers and administrators will have predefined a workflow already for work that their typical process that they do. So therefore, all that employee has to do is submit or complete their work, much like Canvas. If anyone's used Canvas, you just submit it and it's done. And Chronoflow automates the rest of it.
So essentially, it's AI agents.
AI agents is one feature of Chronoflow.
Got it. How have you thought about pricing model?
So for pricing models, we're thinking about enterprise pricing, and we're thinking about doing around $10 per user of an organization per month. Part of when we start going to market and testing with our leads right now is we're going to figure out what that perfect inflection point will be where we can still scale that size and still be profitable. So yeah. And then also, of course, depending on organizations, if they're a lot larger, we'll be willing to do custom pricing if it makes sense.
When you're thinking about pricing, you are absorbing, because right now a lot of the AI agents, you have the base and then they charge you per credit, right?
Yeah.
So that they pass down that cost. Are you thinking about passing down the cost or absorbing it?
So there's a few different approaches. One of the approaches is that if you have an API key with, let's say, ChatGPT or any of your favorite AI agents that you know that this specific task is done better with a specific agent, you can just put that cost on your own organization and use the API key. And you pay for the usage of that API key. But we're also thinking about developing our own LLMs, and that would allow us to figure out the pricing models there as well.
And specifically also, AI agents being just one part and one of the AI features, that's where we're going to give customers flexibility to change around the models. Let's say someone needs a deep thinking model for a task or something like that, and they run this workflow hundreds of times a day. We're going to offload that and have them use their subscription for whatever service that is. But our custom in-house ones handle the chatbot that I mentioned, the one that helps you create the workflows. Those are less frequent use AIs. So an AI agent might get run hundreds of times per day, thousands, tens of thousands of tokens, while the ones that power our basic platform are not estimated to be very high usage, so that's going to be included in our base pricing.
Just two things. What's interesting about the pricing model conversation, at least what I'm seeing out in the market, I'm just saying this as a point, I think the last 26 years or so, SaaS, right, in general has been software as a service. And I think where you guys are sort of akin is you can play into that. I think we're still going to call it SaaS, but I think success is going to be in that acronym, right? Success as a software. And I think you guys potentially have a way to be able to think about that as you go to market. That's one. And then two, just more as a suggestion, and maybe you guys are already thinking about this, it's a hyper-competitive market, right? Like you just mentioned, you've got multi-billion-dollar companies there. You guys can totally tackle it. I'm just wondering, have you guys thought about niching down, is there, like you mentioned, you're working with a professor here to streamline one of the class workflows. I went through that myself when I was here, like awesome use case. I wonder if education, university, like is that a specific use case that you guys can come with kind of preset or established, right? And attach yourself to the C boards and the programs of which kind of dominate the education space as an aside, right? Like,
Yeah.
Because those are my two things.
Absolutely. So yeah, as a product, we started off creating this with Dr. Wigley, the CSUN faculty president here, who gave us a lot of like use cases and suggestions where things here in the administrative faculty can really be sped up. And we do see that that's part of our go-to-market strategy is have the funding to be able to support testing the administrative faculty here, at least for one college at a time. And we'll of course be there with them along the way, being our first customer, helping them create workflows and sort of prove our ID evaluation with real user experience. While ChronoFlow is not tailored for education, we do see that as a unique way we can start, because this is a really untapped space, sort of task management in the education, especially when it comes to handling forms and everything like that. Most systems are just still on email or passing around a file folder, and we believe in 2025 that's unacceptable. We got to optimize from that point. So yeah, we do see the education sector as part of our unique go-to-market strategy, which can help us in the time being develop, grow, test, etc.
This is awesome. I just wanted to say I would use this as a small business because it's extremely tedious to manage staff. And I would also use this as a student because I'm still waiting for my math professor from here to change my B to an A. So.
How many emails have you sent?
It's been years.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Chandra, I was thinking about you the whole time here because I wrote down, optimize workflow and workload intelligence. You could, you would use those things with as being the dean of Nazarian College. So you might have your first client in the start at the college there. Thank you so much for those really great questions and all of our individuals who've been up there and the kind of advice. I love the fact that you're not only asking questions but giving a little advice to our competitors. So I appreciate that. So our next team we're going to hear from is Sonera with business management majors, Benjamin Gamble and his business partner, Gene Kelly. Let's give them a great round of applause. Welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Ben Gampel. I'm head of operations and lead drone tech here at Sonera. Over there in the corner is my buddy Gene Kelly Castillo, and he's the lead pilot and social media coordinator for us. So at Sonera, we do a couple things. One common misconception about productions is that it's one company producing the whole project, when in actuality, it's a bunch of different entities coming together to build one piece of media. So what we do at Sonera is we build drones from the ground up and fly them for productions like music videos, broadcasts, commercials, and other forms of media production. About 8 years ago, I started flying drones. Gene started flying them about 10 years ago. And he's actually one of the best pilots in California, so when he decided to join my team, I wasn't too mad about it. Excuse me, sorry. So we each individually started flying as freelance pilots. This was just because we saw that there was demand in the market. We were just flying recreationally prior, but we saw there was demand, so we started. We filmed with some great companies individually as freelancers. We filmed with Netflix, Garmin, UGG, and a ton of other big companies. But at the beginning of this year, we decided, hey, we could actually do something together, bring all our equipment into one, and work as a team on some larger projects. So that's exactly what we did. We've been running since early January, and yeah, I'm here to tell you about it. So there's a whole host of issues within the production market. For one, you're limited in where you can put cameras, how expensive they are to set up, and time efficiencies. What our drones do is we have a ton of platforms, so wide range of abilities. But for one, we can put them almost anywhere in a 3D space. We can position, hold them, and do shots like things that a helicopter or a dolly cam can't really do. Those platforms specifically are extremely expensive. To hire out a helicopter can cost upwards of $50,000 a day for a production. Our costs are significantly lower, so we can charge much lower rates. And yeah. So there are 5 firms within the LA market that perform at a really, really high level. These firms have a lot more capital than us, and they film much larger projects. We're trying to break into that market a little bit, but we can do this pretty easily because our skill level is really high. These drones are very expensive and pretty dangerous, so it's really important to have a highly skilled pilot flying them, and that's why we have Gene over here. I've also been flying for a long time, but for the mainly I AC and camera op some of these shots. This is a referrals industry. It's all connections based. It's who you know. So we do a lot of our networking face to face, and we do some cold outreach as well in order to get clients. Maintaining good connections with these people is really important because these are the people that are going to be consistently hiring you out for projects. We also do a lot of our R&D in-house, so whether it be building PCBs, designing drone frames, or programming them, we do it all. We also do sell these drone frames and the drones themselves, but this is a really small part of our business model. Effective communication is also something that's really important on set. We do a lot of test days. Gene's actually located out in Long Beach, so it is a little bit hard to do these test days, but maintaining safe operations and overall executing good shots, at the end of the day, we're working for our clients to get good shots for them. So these things are really important, and we practice a lot. We've each logged tens of thousands of hours on these platforms, and it's really important that you're highly skilled when flying these big drones. We have drones that can fit in the palm of your hand, and some larger ones like these that can fly camera platforms that are about 5 pounds or so. So our cost structure is pretty simple. We have marketing costs, R&D costs, of course insurance premiums make up a big part of our costs, but our cost structure is pretty simple. The industry itself obviously has had drones in it for a while. Drones have been around for 10 to 15 years within the industry. FPV, which is our specific niche, we also do fly standard platforms, but we prefer to fly FPV drones. These have been around for about 10 years. Now, 3 years ago, with software and hardware developments, we were actually able to carry these larger cameras. And so that's what we started to do, and the demand has just skyrocketed for these services. Like I said, there's only about 5 firms that are currently operating at a high level, so there is a lot of market to capture left. In the market itself, there's about $1 billion a year allocated towards aerials. There's 5,000 ongoing projects per year. Day rates for operators are anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000 for the larger projects, and $1,500 a day for the smaller projects. But rates do range. So, as I stated before, the industry leaders charge a lot more than us. They're more at the $20,000 per day range. So they have a lot more capital to spend on R&D and other things in-house than us. Solo freelancers do make up about 90% of the market. There's a lot of productions ongoing, and a lot of the times a production company will want to hire out someone that's cheaper. But with these cheaper prices comes significantly lower skill levels, less emphasis on safety, and overall worse gear. At Cinero, we offer really competitive pricing. Our skill level is really high, as we've both been flying for a long time, and our gear is pretty good. We've really put a big emphasis on building up our stockpiles of drones. We have over 20 different platforms that we utilize for different services on projects. So our goal for this year is to really just create retainer clientele. We had our individual freelance connections that have slowly fizzled out over time, but we're trying to build up new connections with this company as we are charging higher rates. It is a bit of a process to get this going, as there's only so many people that you can meet in a certain sort amount of time, but we're trying to do this currently. So one big thing for us is spec projects. Spec projects are really important because they're essentially how you showcase your work to clients. For the most part, the production companies that we work with don't allow us to keep the footage that we shoot on them. So having client-based work is really important for us. Spec projects are free projects that we essentially produce out of pocket to showcase our work to production companies in order to get them as potential clients and future clients. Lenses and cameras are also really important, so having a little bit of extra funds to allocate towards some different types of cameras. There's slow-mo cameras and different sorts of things that would be great to have as well. So in 2026, we're hoping that we can net about $576,000 per year. This would be shooting about 144 projects per year, which does seem high, but we're hoping to bring in another pilot over the next couple months. And that's about it. If you guys have any questions or things you need cleared up, I know it's a confusing service-based industry, but yeah.
My only question is, what does it take to become a drone pilot?
Years and years of experience crashing a lot of drones when I was in high school and slowly getting better. Just always pushing yourself. But when we're on set, we always follow this rule where we're below 70% of our maximum limit just so we can be safe. But of course, when we practice, we're constantly raising that bar for ourselves.
How do you scale? Obviously you're kind of constrained on yourselves and equipment. What are your plans? If a large production studio was to come to you and say, hey, we want a retainer for X, right? How would you go about facilitating that?
So like Ben said, we are looking to, in the future, bring on more pilots when we do get those jobs. We do have a potential job I don't want to bring up right now, but it could be worldwide, and we would need a lot of pilots for that. Since we have been flying for a long time, we have a lot of friends in the drone industry. So I personally know a lot of pilots who I've worked with. They've given me jobs, I've given them jobs. So we have that network of people to build a large network, especially within the US and even across the world, so that we can eventually have Synera be the go-to aerial production company just for any production, and we'll just hopefully be the first ones people think of.
That's awesome. One last thing, just something to think about that stood out to me. It seems like your core competency is your R&D and your ability to build that from components. And it might be interesting for you guys to consider more of like a picks and shovels approach, where if it's fragmented, a bunch of contractors, you are providing them with the hardware, potentially even some software, and maybe even leasing it to them, right, and helping them out with their business model.
Yeah, so we have thought about that, and we have had outreach to do these things. We both have social medias where we have over 30-ish thousand followers across all of social media, and people do reach out to us when we post reels, but it's a bit bottlenecked because there obviously is such a niche market for these services, and a lot of the other companies do have their own R&D in-house. So if we were to do this, it would be at really high scale with smaller platforms, probably looking at the more consumer market and the lower end level of productions.
Also to add to that, since these drones are so specialized and you tune these things and you feel like there's parameters in there that are custom to you. So a lot of things are owner operator. So you own it, you operate it, and that's your system. And yeah, so it's a little bit harder to do that. But in terms of scaling that, definitely providing the platform itself and allowing the pilots to put whatever they want on it is something that we've been thinking about.
Simple question. Are there opportunities to diversify the revenue stream beyond film?
A little bit. So there is clients within the commercial space, like things like LiDAR, and utilizing it for contractors that want to maybe check out construction sites and such. Although the rates just are simply a lot lower. I mean, like I said, you can charge upwards of $20,000 per day. Some of the larger companies are shooting 3 or 4 projects a day. They have large teams, so they're able to outsource the work all around the world. So their revenues are upwards of $10, $50 million per year. Yeah. But if there was opportunities, we'd probably be looking into it over the next year or so.
If you win, what would you do with the money?
Like I said, so spec projects are something that's really big for us because we're not able to really showcase our footage. So if we were able to produce these projects and showcase these to potential clients, that could be really important for us.
Yeah, also, like Ben said, we live 2 hours apart in peak LA traffic. So that gets really hard to constantly be testing and improving and going on these jobs. So it's a big thing for us, and it's a goal to, in the near future, have a centralized space, an R&D lab where we can really create, test, and just bring more people in to expand. And also with expansion, within the film industry itself, we have connections to where we can build a full production company and expand outside of aerials as well.
Last question. What's the range on that? Can you guys just fly to each other?
No, we can go up to like 10 miles away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And these things can go over 80 miles per hour on some platforms. And since they are remotely operated, we can fly through explosions, fires, waterfalls, since some of them are waterproof. And just places where you can't put an operator. So that's really the value that we're bringing and trying to push into the film market, because it solves so many problems that some people are just unaware of because this technology is so new in the filmmaking space.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I want to be a drone operator, learn how to fly. I think that would be fun. And I just want to make sure, you said you go through fires, but you do remember during the fires we had, one of them hit a tanker. So just, make sure you don't do any of that, because that was a problem. But I think you guys are experienced in what you're doing. We have two more teams, so that you know. Our next team to present is Covolta, with team members Tim Attewell and Vede Vertani, who are both master students at CSUN studying electrical engineering. And the third team member is Laura Attewell. Let's welcome them.
Hi, I'm Tim Attewell, founder of Covolta. You're looking at the Pulsar battery, which will be part of the world's first edge power network. What we're going to do with that is stabilize the power grid and bring food security to disadvantaged communities. So, our power grid was only made to handle a certain amount of power. Demand for that power is growing. Well, this says a lot, I'll get there. So demand for that power is growing, and the infrastructure is only getting older. This was a problem before the AI boom. Now, AI power consumption is incredibly high and expected to double in the next 5 years. Failing to meet that demand means more blackouts, more fires, and more threats to public safety. Peak demand is what makes this issue so dire. Utilities are being held hostage by that spike in energy consumption that happens every evening as people get home from work and they turn on basically everything in the house. So our grid's minimum capacity is dictated by that spike, which means expensive upgrades to the grid and entire power plants being kept online only to run for, at most, 4 hours a day. Utilities are building enormous battery plants to try and combat this issue. They charge during the day, and then they discharge in the evening when that power is needed. But that approach comes with some legal barriers and a lot of secondary expenses. That's the problem. Yes, they're adding supply to the grid, but that supply still needs to be pushed through our existing infrastructure. Covolta will circumvent these issues by storing power inside the home before peak demand hits. That way, instead of answering demand with more power, we're preventing the demand from ever touching the grid in the first place. That energy is stored right on the edge of the grid between the outlet and the refrigerator. Why the refrigerator? I'm the refrigerator guy today. It's because there's one in every home running 24 hours a day, and that consistency makes them perfect targets to be taken off the grid during peak demand. But we're not just serving the grid with this. For families in underprivileged communities, losing a batch of groceries to a power outage can be a financial disaster. We're going to give them a way to keep their food cold, and we're going to do it for free. I'll get to that. There are existing home batteries like the Tesla Powerwall that do store energy closer to the edge of the grid. But they are expensive to install, and they're limited to single-family homes. Our ability to affordably serve individual apartment units is what sets us apart from any other solution currently out there. Because the battery only has one job, the design is simple and it's easy to manufacture. With our provisional patent already filed, we have a strong hold on this unique corner of the battery market. 85% of homes in the US lack any kind of backup power solution. That makes our total addressable market $55 billion. Grid-stressed states like Texas, Florida, and California are much more motivated to adopt our system. That is a market of $12.2 billion. And then there are those disadvantaged and underprivileged communities in California. Now, you might be wondering how I'm going to stand up here and say that our beachhead market of $309 million is dependent on families who would struggle to afford our product. The answer is they won't need to afford it because we're giving it to them for free. California incentives already offer full rebates for grid storage solutions in those neighborhoods. Because of those rebates, our go-to-market strategy is like clockwork. After we complete manufacturing and installation, we receive the rebates and we become what's called a virtual power plant, meaning utilities will be paying us for the grid relief that we provide with our batteries. The sooner we can crest that initial hill of manufacturing and installation, the sooner we can receive rebates and accelerate the cycle. That gives us some pretty incredible growth potential. Here in LA, in just 3 years, we have the Olympics rolling into town. And when that extra demand hits, it's the underprivileged communities that are most likely to lose power. This gives us an opportunity to make LA part of our origin story. Having made an impact on the power grid during the Olympics, we'll be free to partner with appliance manufacturers and push beyond the rebate market into direct-to-consumer sales. I asked people who I trust and admire to join the team for Bullring. Vetty and I met in the trenches of our CSUN engineering courses. My little sister Laura has over 30 years of experience dealing with me, so she's been very helpful. My Bullring mentor, John Coe, once I explained the company to him, his reaction was, "How does this not already exist?" I love hearing that question, especially from people like John Coe, who has already successfully founded his own sustainable energy company right here in California. He is incredibly familiar with the space that we're entering, and he's agreed to stay on as an advisor because he's excited by Covolta's simplicity, novelty, and impact. We're excited to make those impacts, but for now we're focused on what's in front of us, a small battery with huge potential. Thank you. I blacked out. How did I do?
Good. I have 2 questions for you. Love the concept. I'm originally from Venezuela. I have a ton of family that live here. And even though I see the use case in LA and the US, there are many countries outside of the US that would have huge benefits from something like this. So as I see your cost of manufacture, if you were to sell it, yes, in LA there are many programs, but if you were to sell it, do you have an idea of how much it would go for?
Yes, if we go with, it's the 750 watt-hour model, that's the capacity, we would sell for $500 just direct to consumer. That's to stay competitive with what's already out there.
And then what's already out there? Because you mentioned nobody else is doing it, but you said stay competitive with what's out there.
Right. What's out there currently, I guess what I was saying is, according to dollars per watt hour, what's already out there. In terms of function, there are small batteries about the size of us, but they're more like lunch boxes. If you go on Amazon, Jackery is a company that I kind of idolize, but theirs are more for like luxury blackouts, or you'll see ads where like couples take it camping so they can make coffee while they're in the wilderness. So very, very different purpose.
And then how much money do you need to kickstart these? Because you mentioned a lot of programs, right? But those programs and those grants, they take a while. When it comes to manufacturing, you have to, in many cases, upfront that. Have you thought about that process?
Yeah. Right now, we're in the catch-22 of just needing prototypes, which conveniently comes to about 10 grand. We're in that situation where it's hard to get backing without a prototype. It's hard to have a prototype without backing. So this kickstart would be really helpful.
I love it. I think it's amazing. I love niche markets, and I love things that everyone uses, like refrigerators and beds and so forth. So
Thank you.
I did not want to get political today, but what is your plan B if, or A, where is this manufactured?
The manufacturer that I'm talking to right now is in Shenzhen.
Okay.
Our advantage here is that we are at least small, so instead of having our feet swept out from under us, we can kind of plan around the tariffs. The one way that we're looking to limit exposure is sourcing a certain amount from Shenzhen and then ensuring that it is assembled in the United States. And if it's technically made in America, then the tariffs don't apply to what we gain from China.
Got it. And last question is, what happens if funding, like grants and so forth, are pulled out from these government programs?
Before we enter?
If you're in the market and you're just going, and all of a sudden funding's cut.
Yes. So as we progress, we're less and less reliant on rebates. The virtual power plant payments that I mentioned are not government incentive. That's just an energy market. So we'll always have that kind of bed of revenue. And not to mention, in addition to the bed of revenue, we're also going to push to eventually go to direct-to-consumer sales. So the rebates and incentives are our wedge to get in, and then we kind of evolve from there.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, I almost see it as like a nonprofit, which is really cool. So maybe like a B Corp or something like that could be exciting for you guys.
My question is, on your long-term roadmap, you've got 28, 29 talking to the large manufacturers. Why not talk to them now? Why not incorporate them in the process as you guys are going through this?
I would love to. After this competition is over, I'm going to be exploding in a lot of different directions, and manufacturers would be one of them. I hesitate to approach them before we have prototypes. That's kind of the thing that's holding us back right now. Okay, I'm going to go away now.
Thank you so much, and love that you already have the patent. I think you mentioned, and I just want to thank the judges. Your questions, and I mean, I'm loving this exchange. So I really believe it. And you're making everyone feel really comfortable and not nervous when they're standing up here. So I thank you for that. So now we have our last presentation, our last team. Please join me in welcoming Brittany Evans, a student majoring in cinema and television arts at CSUN, who will be presenting on her business, Sassy Mouth Straws. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brittany Evans. I am the co-founder and inventor of Sassy Mouth Straws. Our vision for Sassy Mouth Straws is that it will become the go-to fun, eco-friendly straw for weddings, events, and boba enthusiasts across the US. What if I told you that this basic plastic straw is the most sassiest threat to our environment? Yes, about 8 to 12 million tons of plastic waste enter our oceans and landfills annually, harming and affecting our environment. Now picture this, you're sipping your favorite boba, but instead of sipping out of this basic plastic straw, you're sipping with sass. Introducing Sassy Mouth Straws, the all-new patented boba straw that allows you to add more sass to your sip. And not just sass, you can add your logo, name, or whatever. It's perfect for any event, any occasion. To scale, we plan to focus on volume distribution, branding, and we will lower unit costs through bulk distribution. And also, since we are focusing on D2C and B2B, we will expand beyond D2C with wholesaling with boba shops, wedding planners, and event vendors. We are also targeting through targeted social media ads, as well as building relationships with micro-influencers. We're targeting Gen Z and millennials, boba cafe owners, as well as wedding and event planners. And this niche sits at the intersection of 3 booming markets. The first market is the reusable straw market, which is worth $4.5 billion. The second one is the wedding market, worth over $64.9 billion. And the boba market sits at $2.6 billion. The market size, the global market size for straws alone is at $18.9 billion. The next one that we're focusing on is the $4.5 billion reusable straw market. Our serviceable size is estimated at between 2 to 7 million based on the bottom-up approach by targeting boba cafe, event vendors, as well as retailers, with this realistic order volumes and as well as pricing. Our go-to-market strategy is broken up into 4 quadrants, the first one being viral visibility on social media, collaborating with boba cafe owners, attending in-person events and expos, and my last one is Sassy in the Wild, which is our form of guerrilla marketing to get more exposure for our brand. To date, we will be in 2 different locations, the first one being Forever Healthy in Chatsworth, the second one being Boba Crave in Fontana. We did partner up with Erica Wong, who is an event planner in Pasadena. She's the owner of Love Lou Wong Time, and we'll be attending the Bridal Expo in Riverside this fall. So we launched last year of 2024. Since then, we have moved fast. The first thing we did was market research studies. So we did several research studies on our customer demographic, as well as different boba cafes in the IE, as well as the LA area. And then we will be fulfilling our first units. We will be receiving our first units next month. And then we'll be selling on our website and then marketing online to our target customers, as well as connecting with boba cafe owners and influencers. We looked at several key players like Final Straw and Go Silly. Even though they're both eco-friendly, they're not customizable. Promotional straws promote logos, but they only cater to traditional straws. And as I mentioned before, the plastic straw right there, yeah, forget it. Sassy Mouth Straws is here to say, we offer customization, reusability, and also we are tapping into an untapped market. Boba has been around for many years. No one has customized a straw yet, only us. You can add your logo, name, and we offer fun, bold, and inclusive customizations. So we are patent pending, as I mentioned, and we are first to market by hitting several niche markets like boba, and we are building our customer base. The cost of goods to make is $1 to make, and we're retailing it for $3.99, which gives us a margin of 75%. The customer acquisition is broken off into 3 channels, the first one being direct to consumer, the second one being B2B, and the last one is social media. So we are pre-revenue, but we will receive our first units next month. Our 85,000 projection is set for next year, leveraging the D2C and B2B models with the goal of reaching between 20 and 30 boba shops. Paid ad sales, and the following year we will double that to $180,000. And then following that will be $325,000, again, just strictly wholesaling and licensing our product to different brands. So the customer acquisition costs. So more recently, we did run an ad campaign on Instagram, which was $500. We got a little over 2,000 visitors on our website with a 5% conversion rate. That's about 100 potential customers and giving us at $5 per customer. So as I mentioned before, we are 100%, the straws are of 100% recycled plastic, that the prototype, that's just a prototype, but the final product will be 100% recycled plastic. Our manufacturers are sustainable and they follow our values. So with a $10,000 investment, we'll be doing $5,000 for manufacturing, $3,500 for marketing, $1,000 for packaging, and $500 for operational costs and admin. So myself, my team, this is my second business. The first business I ran, I started when I was a senior in high school. I grew it, I scaled it, and I'm in the process of selling it. My dad is the dad-daughter team. He has over 30 years of experience of marketing, and my advisors include Tim Tiemann, Rachel Howery, and Andy Miza. Tim, he is the director of iCorps, which is here. Rachel, she's the owner of Forever Healthy in Chatsworth. She knows the forecast of all the boba and customers that come into her shop. Andy, who's my advisor, she has over 30 years of business experience, branding, as well as sales strategy and customer experience. Thank you so much, and I leave you with this. Let's make our planet sassier, one sassy mouth at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're a family of boba lovers, and we do have a few straws. So I'm curious, during your market research, what are some key things you learned?
The first thing I learned is that boba, the straw, is untapped. And so when I went to different cafes, not just because I'm from the IE, I didn't go just to the IE, I went to different areas. A lot of the boba founders were really impressed. They're like, wow, like we used the loyalty cards. This is great, because people forget the loyalty cards. One of the things that you saw on the straw is the reusable topper. People love that because it's not only, it protects the drink, but it also helps them, reuse it whenever they want to use it.
When you're talking about distribution and you're talking about the retailers, the weddings and all of that, what's the minimum order size? And are you thinking just distribution through partnerships, or are you thinking D2C so that it's just one?
Sure, yeah, I can pull that up for you.
Thank you.
So these are just estimates. So starting off, there'll be like 52.99 units, and that's for small events and boutique shops. Ideally, that'll be for like weddings. 5,000 plus, max. That's going to be national retail and licensing. So when speaking to distributors who are in the wedding market, ideally they're like 50 to 100 is the unit cost that they're looking for.
What's the level of customization that you're looking to offer per shop? I think it's pretty cool that you've got like this extra real estate here, right?
Yes.
Marketing, you mentioned, as part of your team. I wonder what you're thinking along those lines, both from a customization as well as like, is this a marketing opportunity?
Both. It's a marketing opportunity and customization, so it fits both business as well as individual. As I mentioned on my second slide, we had a heart-shaped one, which is ideal for bachelorette parties. So, for example, you being a business owner, if you want to have your logo on it, you can have the color of your business as well as the name of your business. Like I said, possibilities are endless. You just have to let us know, of course, ahead of time. That way we're able to get the font ready for you and the sizing also for the customization.
Great presentation, well thought out. The customer acquisition cost portion, was that for B2B or was it more B2C when you guys ran that ad?
It was a little bit of both. When I got the numbers, it was a mix of people. So I got interest from both customers and boba cafe owners, one of which is in Texas. And so they were like, oh yeah, we love this. Of course, we don't have product yet, but it was a mix between both customers and business owners.
Awesome, yeah. I think my only concern would be the customer acquisition cost of $5 if you sold the straw for $4, just like is a net loss. But if you're selling it more to B2B customers and they're ordering in bulk, definitely there's profit margin there for sure. And then I guess what does an average straw cost? Because the margins kind of get lower the more you get. So 75 cents for 5,000 units or 1,000 units is like $750 or so, right? Or $75. I think I got a B in math, I said. So just kind of walk me through that. How are you going to survive with making 75 cents a unit at that level?
Yeah, so as I previously mentioned, and I hope I'm answering your question, is that we are focusing on direct-to-consumer, but we will be moving our channels to more B2B, given the fact that when we do, business owners do tend to order more product. So we do offer an exchange, okay, you have this customizable straw, you get more promotion, they'll return to us. That's the return unit. So okay, can you please repeat your question again?
Yeah, just I'm looking at the large unit of, let's say 1,000, and you said it takes about $1 to make it, so your profit margin's about 75 cents or so. So just trying to think how you can kind of move the needle more with either a lower cost product or a higher profit margin.
Yes, so this is just based off our first manufacturer we are working with. But once we have more units, of course, we will move channels. That way we're able to have a lower cost and we're able to raise our margins.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was great. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing that in production as well. Thought of all kinds of reasons as I was sitting next here, what we could use it for, what kind of events. I do want to mention before we let everyone go, and I didn't introduce her, and I think hopefully she's still here, Felicia Conlin, who's she is our alumni president. So Felicia, just want to make sure we recognize you as well. Okay. So that was really inspiring, all of these people, and I think really fantastic ideas. Let's give them all a great round of applause again. It takes a lot of courage to get up in front of an audience and really sell something that you have been working so hard and you're passionate about, and to be able to express it in 7 minutes in a 5-minute question period. So I thank them. So I appreciate that all of you have taken the effort to do that. So I know the judges, you're going to have this is tough. I don't know. This is tough. All of you will get to participate too and see how tough it is for the audience participation. But we're going to ask the judges to leave the room, and so they are going to go upstairs to do the conversation, secret ballots there. And so now we get I think an opportunity as they leave to hear someone who's really spectacular. I introduced him briefly before, but talk about entrepreneurial, talk about someone who grew something to a national level. It is our guest speaker today who is going to be here, and I mentioned him earlier, John Giorgio. He is the CEO of Gothic Landscape. I did ask him how did you get Gothic? And he reminded me that's where he lived when we were in high school, on Gothic. And that together with his 2 brothers, he has grown from a relatively small $500,000 small business to a $130 million powerhouse. He is a graduate of CSUN with degrees in finance and English, and has completed the management development program for entrepreneurs at UCLA. He's a current member of our advisory board. He and his family are very active in the Santa Clarita Valley, support numerous charitable organizations and local schools, and is really an inspiration, and I think is the largest family-owned landscape company you're gonna have to finish that sentence, I think in the country, but it is. Largest in the country, family-owned landscaping. Let's give John Giorgio a great round of applause.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I gotta tell you, I do not wanna follow those presentations. That was unbelievable. And I love that bio, thank you. My mother would have loved it. But you can know me as Wendy's much older high school friend, as she loves to give. I am humbled and absolutely honored to be here today to be the keynote, because those presentations were outstanding, and I know you must agree with me on that. Okay, so first of all, I am forever indebted to Cal State Northridge. Why? They gave me a couple of degrees. That was pretty important. And I also met my wife at Cal State Northridge at 37 years. So, right? A degree in English, a degree in finance, and a wife for $200 a semester. Tell me that's not a value. Okay? My 2 best friends in the world, I met in 7th grade. We went to junior high, we went to high school, and we came here to Cal State Northridge. This was their reaction when I told them I was going to be the keynote speaker. They were a little surprised because when I went to Cal State Northridge, let's just say I didn't get a ton of Dean's List letters, I would say. And so my message to you is, if you're out there, and if you're not 4.0, one day you could be a keynote speaker at Cal State Northridge, trust me. Okay, and then lastly, in my Cal State Northridge experience, I played football here. And as I love to tell my 3 boys, we are undefeated for 24 straight years, because we stopped the program 24 years ago. And if you're in business, this is why statistics can be tricky, right? Pay attention to that statistics class. All right. So why was I selected? I think because I'm a bit of a representative CSUN student. Okay, all my grandparents were born in Italy. All right, so I'm from an immigrant family. I have 44 first cousins. I'm the first and only one of 2 that graduated from college. Okay. A first-generation student at Cal State Northridge. It's a common story, and it's something I think CSUN should be wildly proud of, right? And then we had a little landscape company on Gothic Avenue here in Granada Hills, and we grew that into the largest privately owned landscape company, as Wendy mentioned. The bio's a little old. We're doing $480 million of revenue today with over 3,000 employees. And it's literally the American dream. That's what entrepreneurship can do. Literally experience the American dream. Okay, a side note that I wanted to tell you, and if any of you can be mentors out there, know this. There is a tremendous joy of working with Cal State Northridge students. I've been able to do that for the last 8 years in Professor for a Day, the Bull Ring program, Fast Pitch, and I can tell you this, they're incredible. Cal State Northridge students are humble, they're hungry, and they're smart, right? By humble, I mean that they are willing to learn and open to any ideas and coaching that you give them. By hungry, I mean they're hardworking and ambitious as heck. And smart, well, that speaks for itself. You saw, I think you just saw that today. I got to work with 2 people I just wanted to mention super quickly. Jamal. Jamal created an app about 5 years ago, and the app was for students that were thinking about, that have been accepted to colleges, and they want to play sports. They're student athletes, and they're deciding where to go. And it was a review system by people who are already playing sports at other colleges, other student athletes, who would put a review online through this app and say, hey, let me tell you what academics are like here. Let me tell you what social life is like here. Let me tell you what the food's like here, right? And so that when people, if you were going to play softball somewhere, you could make a decision based on the reviews that were out there. To me, ingenious. Maya, another student I worked with, was born in Poland. And she said that in Poland, or in Europe in general, there's a lot of remote airports. So the odds are that your luggage is going to be subject to inclement weather, right? You're going to get rain and snow, and it's going to get thrown around. So she put a protective coating, a device that you could put around your luggage to protect it. Well, there was a ton of that out there, right? So not particularly new or clever, except she put advertisements on it, right? And people were making money hauling their luggage around through the airports of Europe, right? And then she personalized them, so I could put, oh my God, John Giorgio, you know, Wendy's much older friend, on my luggage. And these are the students that, I mean, I got to tell you, when I was a senior at Cal State Northridge, I went back and forth to the pub. I wasn't inventing what we saw today. So I'm extremely impressed with the students. What I would tell you now for the next 10 minutes or so, this is going to be short, have fun, be engaged with me. Okay, so what are some of the reasons that you, help me out here, all right? What are some of the reasons that you want to be an entrepreneur? If you want to be an entrepreneur, tell me why. Be your own boss. What else? Impact. What does that mean? To help others, to serve others. Okay. To innovate. You want to be an innovator. What else? Give back. Gosh, dang, you guys. This is a high value crowd. I love that. What else? Excuse me? Solve problems for society. Oh, you guys are way advanced from when I was 21 or 22. I'll tell you that right now. What else? Make money. Make money. Financial freedom. What else? Huh? Location freedom. Work from anywhere. Equity. Okay. What else? Huh? Personal growth. Love it. Okay. So, thank you for that, by the way. So let me tell you that, so what I did was I decided, hey, I'm going to find out why people want to be entrepreneurs. And I'm not very technologically advanced, so I decided I'm going to do it, and I'm going to use AI. So I got my iPad, and I looked at it, and I went, iPad, why do people want to become entrepreneurs? And of course, nothing happened because that's not how iPads work. So then I went to my IT department and I said, how do I find out? And they hooked me up with ChatGPT. And these were the biggest answers that came up. These were the top answers: flexibility, more spare time, be your own boss, set your own deadline, show me the money, right? Those are the biggest reasons. Who out there is an entrepreneur right now? Raise your hand. Cool. Hey, tell me something. Do you get to work your own hours? Funny. Do you have more spare time? You probably don't have more spare time because let me tell you, every hour you work, you have a direct return on that hour. You have a direct return on that investment. So when I go, gosh, I think I'll play, ping pong and watch the Clippers tonight, except that 4 hours is going to cost me, oh my God, maybe I'll just put it on in the background, okay? How about be your own boss? Are you your own boss? Any entrepreneurs out there? Kind of, right? I would tell you this, it depends how you define being your own boss. If defining being your own boss means that I have to pay attention to others' needs, right? I have to answer to somebody. Woo. You're going to be answering to customers, you're going to be answering to employees, you're going to be answering to vendors, banks, investors, right? I don't know about that one. How about set your own deadlines? Yeah, because the market will wait. I have a wedding, I need some straws, but get them to me when you can, right? So I don't know about set your own deadlines. Show me the money's an interesting one because I actually believe that done right, entrepreneurship can be an absolute financial. We are the American dream of financial freedom. But I will tell you this, early on, you're probably going to be financing your company through reinvesting your profits, right? So I don't know many entrepreneurs that in the early years at least, that it was an incredible financial freedom. So why be an entrepreneur? I mean, John, you're popping our bubble here. Why do this? I'll tell you why. Because it is so rewarding for some of the other things that you guys mentioned out there that I didn't see so much up on ChatGPT, and that is to do the right things for the right reasons, right? You can take your company and do what you want with your product or service, right? Because it's the right thing to do. And you guys mentioned that, giving back to the community, solving problems in the community, like we saw earlier on stage, right? And you're not beholden to a quarterly result. I can take a long-term viewpoint instead of having to answer to somebody's financial need. I can do what I think is right. And that is by far the most rewarding part of it, at least for me. The other one is self-reliance, right? Who are you relying on? Yeah, you're relying on yourself. I love Oprah. She made a quote one time where she said, I do not consider myself a victim of my early poverty or my early modest circumstances. I consider myself a wild success because I relied on myself to get things done, right? And that's how she sees herself, not a victim, but a powerful woman because she relied on herself. I love that, by the way. You can unleash your creativity, right? With no boundaries of what your business model will look like. When we started our company, the type of relationship between a landscape contractor and a general contractor was adversarial, right? I'm gonna beat you down to your lowest price. You're gonna be low of 3. Well, I'm gonna change order you and I'll get the best of you in the long run. And we came in with a business model that said, you know what, we're gonna cooperate. We're not gonna be adversarial. If that's what you want, that's not what we're going to do. We want to have a real partnership between us. And we unleashed the creativity of a different business model that wasn't being done. And now we're the largest privately held in the nation. Okay, and then another reason I think is super important, you will learn for life. How many of you love to learn? Right? Probably. Gee, John, that's brilliant. You're in a university. Right? I love to learn. And what's really cool is instead of getting pigeonholed, I know some of you, we saw an electrical engineer who's really into the operational manufacturing portion, but they're going to learn sales, right? We saw some people up here who could give wildly good presentations, and they're going to learn finance. And eventually, if you guys scale, you're all going to be HR and people experts. How fun is that to spend the next few decades? Mark's shaking his head no on the people. Okay. Well, accounting, that explains it. The people are great, right? The HR part. So the point is that you can really expand your skill set in a way that you don't get pigeonholed into a department. I am 109 years old and I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day on these different items. All right. How are we close? Give me a 5-minute call, Jordan. Don't let me go over. Okay, the last thing I want to leave you with, pay attention. Pay attention in class. I actually learned some things that I actually used as soon as I got into business 1,000,000 years ago. I mean, real life stuff. They're probably different today, thank goodness, right? But you will take some nuggets from your class that you will really use. We could not have grown our company without a few of the things I learned. One was have a mission. Have a mission, have a purpose. Purpose. People don't get up in the morning and go, you know what? I'm starting my day at work, and if I could make the shareholders wealthier by 5 o'clock, that would be so awesome, right? That's what I want to do. I want to make the owners wealthy, right? They don't want to do that. They want a purpose. They want a mission. The 5 presenters today all had an underlying mission of what they wanted to accomplish and why, right? People, yourself, will really respond to that. I learned that at Cal State Northridge. They're the one who gave me the concept of having a mission. Secondly, at Northridge, I had a professor who said, don't run out of cash, right? Don't run out of cash. Guess very few companies go bankrupt because they're unprofitable. What, John? Yeah, if you have enough cash, you can go through the runway of unprofitable. All companies are unprofitable for a while, right? At some point. Don't run out of cash. So what did we do, right? Because I didn't have a rich uncle. My nieces do. No, I'm just kidding. That was stupid. Okay. So what we did is we said to our vendors, hey, you know what? I can't pay you in 10 days or 15 days. I'm going to have to pay you in 60 days. But bet on us. Bet on me. Because if you do, I'm going to give you so much business over the next 20 years, you won't believe it. And they did. And we did, right? I also went to our clients and I said, hey, this paying people in 60 days, no, right? I can't wait 60 days for my money. I need my money now, right? So, and I don't want to give you a discount because discounts are very expensive. But you need me. You need our company in business so that you can thrive as a company. And they bought it because it was true, right? And they paid us in 10 days. The combination gave us enough working capital, right? So there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, but make sure that as you're on your journey, that you don't run out of cash. Be careful with equity, right? Be careful with giving equity. Share profits, because I think that's great. It gets everybody aligned. Just be a little careful. Does anyone know you remember who Steve Jobs' partner was when he started Apple? Yeah. Did you all know that? Yeah. How about Bill Gates? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Paul Allen, who he gave 50% of the company to, right? So I'm just saying be a little careful. All right, and then lastly, listen to your clients. Listen to your clients. Your products, we saw 5 services and products that I guarantee you will change by the time they go to market. I guarantee you over the next 5 years, what they're doing today in 5 years won't look like what they're doing today because their clients are going to say, that sounds really good, but if you could just, or my problem is, right? Here's the point though. You can't listen to what your customers are saying. You have to go down deep underneath what they're saying because they're lying to you. Not intentionally. It's not like that. They don't know what they want, right? So what we try and do is find out the why. Why do you need our service? Why do you need our product? That will dictate what we give to you. Right? Because what they're going to say is we need the cheapest product with the highest value. Okay, what do you really need? I love this. Henry Ford said, if I listened to my clients, I would have made the fastest horses in the world. Right? But he listened to the why. And after he listened to the why, he said, they don't want horses. They want horsepower. Right? That's what they want. They didn't know it. They didn't know they wanted cars. He knew it. And I'll give you one final example. This is a park that we just finished in Phoenix. It's called Blossom Rock, in the Blossom Rock community. It's called Painted Sky Park. $30 million park, okay? When we sold this about a year ago, we put our bid together, and our bid was $30 million. And we went, oh man. And the budget from the client was $24 million. We're $6 million higher than the budget. So everyone goes to work on, we've got to get cheaper subs, and we've got to look at our profit margin, and we've got to bring this thing down by $6 million. And then somebody on the team went, hey, let's just drive over and talk to the client. So they did. And they asked the client, they said, hey, what's keeping you up at night? And the client said, I'll tell you what's keeping me up at night. If we don't get the infrastructure done on this project by April 1st of 2025, I'm going to have $300 million from home builders that's going to be sitting in an escrow that the escrow will not release to me. The why, right? You think he cared about going $6 million over budget when he said to us, he goes, that means I won't have 300, and our fiscal year ends March 31st. So I will not have 300 million on my balance sheet, and I'm gonna have to go back to our corporate office and say, hey, I am $1/3 billion short in my cash flow projections. He didn't care about $30 million, $6 million over budget. So we said, okay, we'll fix that problem. And then, but we can't use cheap subs, and we can't have lower profit margins. And away we went. So finding out the why will really help you structure your company. All right, I really appreciate you letting me spend some time with you. I'm super excited to find out who the winners are, and I want to congratulate all of you on your entrepreneurial journey. Good luck with it.
Thank you, John. Wow, that was incredible. You can see why he was most popular in high school at Kennedy High School.
Tim Sullivan.
Thank you, John, and you inspired. I will tell you, we've had the chance to meet some of his employees at different things. We toured at the former dean. We went and saw them, and they are happy employees. You know, that's so important. They feel they're invested, and they feel that their leadership is invested. And so John Giorgio is such a great icon for CSUN. Let's give him a great round of applause and thank him, John. Thank you. I think we're going to put him on the road after that. Okay, so we are going to take a short break, but let me tell you, we're just going to have that while they're finishing, but we encourage you to cast your vote. I don't see it up there yet on the screen, but for the Audience Choice Award. But in each of your programs, there's also a code, and it's a link that will help us identify someone who's going to take the Audience Choice Awards of $2,500. So we encourage you to do that. So I want you to think about, if you were going to invest $2,500 of your own cold hard cash into just one of these teams, who would that be? So we ask you to not go far. Please vote. There's food in the back, and there are restrooms and whatever, and be ready so we can make the announcements when they come back. So thank you all very much for your attention, and look forward to seeing you in 10 minutes. We have the results. We're going to crescendo to the winners, but the first presentation I want to make is for the audience choice, and Ryan said that this was a landslide, and it was 61% of the vote for the audience choice was Covolta. So come on up. And Chandra, can you come up, and John? Congratulations. Oh, but I want you to see the rest of it. Okay. Photographer's right here, so go over there, stand. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, landslide. We are going to, we're going to continue by awarding the Social Impact Award winner. This award is also for $2,500 and is intended to support new ventures that support social causes, human flourishing, and the sustainability of our planet. This year's winner was named a semifinalist, so we actually haven't heard their pitch today as they just narrowly missed the cut for the finals. Please join me in welcoming Carlos Marin, who is a graduate student at CSUN studying sustainability within the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. He is also this year's winner of the Social Impact Award and will now share with us a little bit about his business. Come on up, Carlos.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Ryan, for giving me 2-3 minutes to share a little bit about New Earth Regeneration Initiative. My name is Carlos Marin. I'm a sustainability graduate student here at CSUN, and I'm the founder of New Earth Regeneration Initiative, which is a newly established nonprofit organization that has been, we have been implementing, I'm a graduate student. My master thesis research composting processes around the world. And that led me to find an innovative process that processes organic waste in a much more efficient way than the general composting large commercial processors. I have been implementing this process in a couple of organizations in LA County. We have received several awards and recognition from a couple of environmental organizations. And perhaps the most recognized is the one at LAUSD, Arminta School Elementary, where in only 90-foot square area, we have been able to process more than 5,000 pounds of organic waste in a year. That means that we have diverted over 10,000 pounds of organic waste in the past 2 years. According to the EPA, that in the landfills would have generated 66 metric tons of CO2 equivalent, greenhouse gas emissions that are very damaging to the environment. As impressive as that might seem, that is not the most important part of the project. The big picture, I have a minute. Have you guys been to the desert? If you guys have, you probably noticed that the soil is very compact. It's like concrete. So what happens is when it rains, the water essentially in a warm weather like California, it evaporates. And that water evaporates, goes to the ocean, and it's wasted where it should have stayed inland parts of California. Now, I've developed a soil that is able to retain up to 7 times more water than conventional soils or damaged soils. What does that mean? Imagine essentially if we had 50 acres and we implemented this process, we could harvest hundreds of millions of gallons of water retained without building infrastructure. So imagine the impact that could have in California. Imagine the impact that could have in the world. So I want to thank the Jeff Marine family, the Nazarian School of Business, for this award. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Carlos, and you're changing the world. Thank you so much. And we can always use that water, and we're gonna look back and say, we heard about it at the CSUN Nazarian College and the CSUN Bull Ring. So thank you so much, Carlos. All right, so now what you all have been waiting for. So the next award is the Best in Technology that we have. This is an award that recognizes excellence in leveraging technology to solve some of the world's most meaningful and pressing problems. This year, of course, is a $2,500 award as well. We had a tie, believe it or not. And so we would like to ask AutoEdit and Sonera to come up in the tie for the best technology. And Carlos, after this, I want to give you your award because I didn't give you the award. John and Chandra, do you want to come up and we'll give the awards to the two? Another one printed, and I think each of them will get $2,500.
Yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
each are going to get $2,500. So congratulations, and you can stay up here. So, Carlos, could I have you come up because we didn't give you your certificate? We'll take a picture, Carlos, for the Social Impact Award. Okay, don't go too far, gentlemen. Our third place winner, be your own boss. Remember, he's older than me, so I can tell him what to do. Before we do give the third prize, second prize, and first place, can we give our wonderful judges a great round of applause and have them stand for us? This is not an easy task. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a lot of time and effort for them to do this and volunteer, and so I appreciate it, and a hard choice. Okay, so third place, a little drum roll, is for Sassy Straws for her entrepreneurial spirit and all that she did. Congratulations, our third place winner. Thank you, congratulations. Thank you. All right, drum roll. Second place for a great team, huge opportunity, ChronoFlow, second place. So our first place winner, some of the commentary was great plan, engaging presentation, huge idea, and now is going to have that $10,000 to do their prototype. Cavolta, congratulations, first prize.
Exciting plan, man. Exciting plan.
Congratulations. Good job.
Let's give a great round of applause for all of our finalists. Just amazing. And just like Sleepyhead, you all are going to come back and be a judge in the future, and to be able to do that. And it's just so inspiring to see all of this. It really is spectacular. Oh, we have a check. Come on back. Come on back. We have a fake check. Not a real one. Can't cash it, but.
Wow. Nice. Dude, I love that.
So I want to make sure all the teams don't leave if you are part of the team, because we are going to take a picture with all of the finalists there. But I think what makes us most proud is that CSUN is a place for learning, as you said, John, always learning, and a place where we have mentors, professors, deans, leadership, you name it, our advisory board and others that are here to support you. And this is not the last time that we will be here and to support you in your efforts. So I just want to say that this is the end of our program. There's plenty of food. Again, all of the finalists do not leave. We want to take big pictures, but a great round of applause for everyone here today. Thank you so very much.